California Congressman Khanna. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. Your reaction to what you just heard?
Well, it's pretty simple. Look, the president who actually was able to cut the federal workforce was Bill Clinton. He cut 351,000 federal employees. The workforce grew by 2% under Donald Trump's first term. And the way he did it is he came to Congress with Al Gore. Congress passed the Restructuring Act, and that's how we cooperated to reduce the unnecessary bureaucracy. And all my colleagues are saying is you have to work with Congress to make lasting and constitutional change.
Well, I mean, did it work? Since Bill Clinton was in office, $1.5 million was given last year for advancing DEI in Serbia's workplace, provided $2 million grant to fund sex changes in Guatemala, $7.9 million to a project that would teach Sri Lankan journalists to avoid binary gendered language. We've gone through this list all morning long. Do you agree with these things that USAID was paying out to?
Of course, there are projects that I disagree with, and I acknowledge that there is wasteful spending. But 2 points, Maria. If you really want to go after the waste of the federal budget, and you know the numbers, you don't start with an agency that is 0.1%. You start with the federal defense budget, which is 56%. You start with Medicare Advantage fraud, which is a huge part of the budget. You start with
I think that's where he's
the
going
pharmaceutical
next.
Companies.
President Trump said he's going to the Education Department and military next. And, you know, there's a piece in the Journal today, Congressman, and the question is there a constitutional crisis? The editorial board writes this. You know, Trump's actions are aggressive, but they are not an executive coup. They write, the real crisis would come if Mr. Trump defies a Supreme Court ruling. If that happens, and it could, the left may wish it hadn't squandered its credibility by crying wolf so often about crises that didn't exist in Trump's executive actions. So, Congressman, I mean, I want to get your thoughts on this, because we see your colleagues saying we're going to fight until the end, we're going to fight in the streets. I mean, why not just admit, wow, a lot of money has gone to some questionable places, and try to get on the same page so that America can get united?
America would be united if they were to come to Congress. I saw that President Trump even said, well, maybe we should come to Congress. That's what all we've been saying is have a up or down vote. Why not force members of Congress to cast those votes? Why does it matter? Because there otherwise could be disinformation. Look, Musk acknowledged yesterday that the condom money didn't go to Gaza, that there was some program in Mozambique. So Congress is a check to make sure that the programs people care about, Social Security, veterans benefits, cancer research, money for decent schools in working class neighborhoods, those aren't being cut. And that if there are wasteful programs, which I acknowledge there are, those should be cut. But I don't understand what the problem is. Why are they trying to make these decisions unilaterally? And by the way, it's not just listening to the Supreme Court. In this country, we listen to any federal judge. I mean, that's a law and order. Do you think any citizen should say, well, I'm not going to listen until the Supreme Court rules? And I'm confident the Supreme Court is going to rule that some of this is unconstitutional.
Well, no, I totally understand, and I agree. Congress's role is critical. But, you know, as far as I can tell, every congressman or congresswoman I ask about all of these crazy ideas to send money, they had no idea it was happening. So how is that possible? You're an elected official. You have no idea that all this the sex change operation money was going to Guatemala. You know, and then if you want to talk about the Supreme Court, I mean, you know, the Supreme Court told Joe Biden that it was unconstitutional to forgive student loan debt. What did that do? He blew it off.
And he complied. He complied.
I don't think he complied. He kept forgiving student loan debt.
No, he complied 100% with the Supreme Court's decision. He tried to find other ways to make it constitutional, but he complied with that decision. But the point is, Maria, I initially had said that I want to work with DOJ. I got criticism from my own party when I said that, because I expected what Musk would do is go through different federal agencies, go through the Pentagon, look at where the waste was. Of course, 435 members of Congress can't do the entire oversight, and it was important to look for wasteful spending, but you can't then make a unilateral decision, especially when you had real fear in this country when the portal on Medicaid funding was closed for a few hours. Now, I acknowledge that has been resumed, but that really spooked people. Yeah. And when you have issues like cancer funding research being on the table. And so I actually think it would be in Musk's advantage to come to Congress for two reasons. One, it would be lasting change beyond one president. And two, he would get get the buy-in of the American public and put to rest some of the fear out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you just said is really important. And you said you complied, and then you caught the ire of some of your colleagues. I mean, why is everything such a fight? Right? I mean, why did you comply? You complied because you saw something as a practical solution, and you're a moderate thinker, and you said, well, this does make sense. Let me comply. And very soon after, you get slammed by Democrats for not getting in line. So, I mean, the American people, don't you think, are so tired of the fight? Why not just get on the same page? We know we've got $36 trillion in debt. We know some of these programs are questionable. Let him do the work to point out what's questionable. And you're right, going through Congress is a fine idea and is the way our structure works. But do you understand the frustration on the part of viewers who say, this is ridiculous?
I do understand the frustration because 80% of Americans have the view that there is wasteful spending. They want us to address and get rid of the wasteful spending, but they want to do it in a way that follows the rules. And the problem here is our side is saying, come to Congress, and their side is saying, well, you don't care about wasteful spending, and the American people want us to work together on it.
They're not just saying, come to Congress. They don't want Elon Musk anywhere near government. You know, I mean, look, was Anthony Fauci elected? No. But I saw him at the podium with Joe Biden umpteen times, right? There were plenty of others who weren't elected. Now FEMA had to fire 4 employees, including FEMA's chief financial officer, after Doge-led Musk reported that the agency sent $59 million to New York City to house and care for illegal migrants. I mean, Congressman, come on. We've got veterans on the street, you know, homeless. You know, we've got people in America who need help. And $59 million went to New York to house and care for illegal migrants, defying an executive order from a sitting president?
Well, look, this is why we need to come to Congress, because I read some of the reporting, and we need to know what the facts are. My understanding is that some of that money didn't go to luxury hotels, though they're saying that it did. My understanding is some of that went just to make sure that New York citizens could be safe. But what we need to know, this is why I think Musk and others should come to Congress.
How are they going to be safe when we've got dangerous gangs running around? And then you've got China. I don't know what's worse, is surveillance from communist China on American citizens or surveillance from this government. Virginia is now banning state employees from using Chinese AI model DeepSeek on state-issued devices and state-run networks. Congressman, I want to get your thoughts on this. I know that you have a deep knowledge of Silicon Valley, and you're speaking with lots of people there. What is the thinking on DeepSeek? Did China steal this? Is that how they got ahead of America?
I do think there needs to be an investigation because there is a lot of belief that China tried to get the model of ChatGPT either from ChatGPT or Microsoft by putting in prompts, and that helped them develop DeepSeek. But the real thing that the United States needs is we need compute power to stay ahead, and we need to make sure that we continue to invest in innovation, and that should be bipartisan so we win the AI race.
Congressman, we know that you're focused on the importance